Evacuation plans are no joke. Whether they're mandatory or not, they have to be taken into consideration. People should adhere to them because obviously if you're being evacuated, you're at high risk for damage to your house, damage to yourself. So by staying in areas that are supposed to be evacuated, you're putting yourself in danger and putting other people in danger who have to come rescue you. People who don't adhere to evacuation plans sometimes consider the fact that, oh, the storm won't be as bad as it's predicted to be, or maybe they don't want to leave their house behind, they don't want to leave their pets behind even. Other people who stay, they don't want to leave them behind. So they decide, okay, well, I'll be fine, let me stay. And then they realize too late that they're not going to be fine. They can't stay, but they're already trapped there. They're stranded, they're without food, they're without water, they're without other necessities. And by being there, they obviously feel the need to call rescue workers to come and save them. Those rescue workers are now in danger because they have to come, they have to go through floods that are chest high, they have to go to houses that are on fire, they have to go in helicopters, they have to go on boats, and they have to deal with the effects of the storm because people don't adhere to evacuation plans that were given to them. There are shelters out there for where the evacuated people go. They offer food, they offer water, they offer more than needed. And for those people to ignore that and to take matters into their own hands, they are being selfish, they are putting the other people in danger, and they are ignoring the fact that they have a place to go. There was an incident during Hurricane Sandy in Seaside Heights where a family decided to stay, and they watched as their neighbor's house fell apart, completely fell apart. Their neighbors died, it was rushed with water, and they luckily made it to the top of their house as their own house was flooding. They luckily made it out in time because rescue workers were able to get to them, but as their neighbors, oftentimes the rescue workers can't get to those people because they're stranded. Those people choose themselves to put themselves in that danger, so that's their own fault. My father is a police officer in Greenbrook County, in Greenbrook, New Jersey, which is right next to Boundbrook, which is high risk of flood. Greenbrook, Lower Greenbrook is also high risk of flood. So during Hurricane Irene in 2011, Hurricane Floyd in 1999, evacuation plans were given out to those people. They were called about 3 days in advance. There was a checklist. There was to make sure everybody got the call. Everybody was called until there was a reply, and people still chose not to listen. They knew there were shelters provided for them, but they still did not listen. So the hurricanes came, the people stayed, they got stranded, and of course they went and called the police department. So my father and his fellow police officers had to go and rescue these people. They had to use boats, they had to walk through chest-high water, they had to carry people out over their shoulders, and they also all got sick after the fact because the water was infected with bacteria from the sewer line, which broke and flooded into the streets. So those people who chose not to evacuate, they got carried out by the police officers. The police officers then got sick, they got injured, all because people failed to adhere to evacuation plans. If an evacuation plan is in effect, it obviously means the place is high at risk, it's a dangerous situation, and it should be taken seriously. So in order to stop people from ignoring these evacuation plans, they need to be told straight up before the storm hits that if they choose to stay, which I guess it is their opinion, they choose to stay, they are putting themselves in danger and they will not be rescued. There will be large fines on them, and they will even perhaps be imprisoned, which depends on the scenario. If people still choose not to adhere to them, that's their own problem. It's their own fault. It's their own choice. Rescue workers should not be put in those situations. They cannot do their job right because they have to deal with people who don't listen to them, and then they have to be put in danger because of them.